So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast, Teamsheet Tantrum, where we wait with a bated breath to see if any of our new signings are going to start. It's one of the more, I suppose, anticipated Teamsheet Tantrums, Paddy, we've had in a while, because obviously for the people who've come through the door, and it's also not only is it just the people who've come through the door, obviously, but it's to make amends for the game that we had on Monday. But just before we get started, I just want to let everybody know this podcast is in association with our podcast partner, the Spond application. You can find Spond on iOS or Android applications. If you're interested, please go and have a look and download it. But what is it? I hear you say it is an application that will help you organize and keep organized any team settings that you're in, any group settings that you're in. So you can send out group texts, group mails, group event settings, and also you can accept secure payments through the application too. So if you've got a football team, or if you've got a drama group, or if you've got a work subgroup or anything like that, and you want to keep everything all in one place, the Spond app might be the one for you. So give it a look out. If you want to download it, it's a free download. It's on iOS and Android, and they're the podcast partners for today. Paddy, talk to me. I've decided it's a lucky hat. Don't know why.
Cat Stevens, look.
Cat Stevens. Let's do it. Zizou from what's your man's name from the Life Aquatic, the Wes Anderson film. That's what I prefer. That I have shaved my beard. I've trimmed it down because some people didn't believe I was 36 years of age. Took that one to heart. Got a haircut as well. Got a haircut and trimmed the beard. Just to try and make sure that my passport made sense. But I'm going to put back on the hat because I don't know why. This is my lucky red hat. Paddington Bear type thing.
There you go.
Paddy, how are you feeling about today?
I've had a busy day. I had to drive back from Kerry and I was running around doing bits and bobs, so I haven't had much time to think about it, but I've been thinking about it all week, so it was nice to have a day off from it. Now we've got just over an hour to kick off, and I'm looking first and foremost for a win. I don't care about the performance today. We owe them a spanking, but a 1-0 win will do me just fine today. If it hits someone's arse in the 89 minutes, so be it. I'm just sick of losing to them. I'm absolutely sick to my back teeth of losing to them, especially when we shouldn't.
Yeah. I text Paddy this, and do you know like Paddy isn't playing a character on the podcast. All right, I know you know that isn't the case, but I'll tell you how passionate Paddy is and how much he really wants to beat Manchester United. So much so that last night I sent him a message saying Ronaldo looks like he's out. He got injured. He has a slight thigh strain in training only yesterday. Paddy sent me back, I don't want any fucking excuses from them. So like Paddy was like, I want to beat him with all our players. I want to beat him. I don't care. He went like, I could imagine he was there on the other end of the phone going full Kevin Keegan. I would love it if we beat him. Love it if we beat him. So like Paddy, that's how passionate Paddy is about the Villa and about, I suppose, this fixture above a lot of other fixtures. I won't say, Paddy, I won't speak for you and say that this is one of your most one of the fixtures you most like to win, but
no, it is
other fixtures, I would say.
Other than Birmingham City, this is the worst one for me. So yeah, there's so many of them trotting around our lovely island here. So it makes life a little bit easier when you beat them. But they were very quiet this week, so I think they realised they should have been beaten Monday night. So I really want to rub their noses in it this week because we were robbed the other night, and that can't happen today. We need to get ahead and stay ahead.
That's it, yeah.
And hopefully, I think there's going to be an amazing atmosphere here tonight. I think it's going to be red hot. I think the fans are really going. I saw some videos earlier. It was about 2:00 in one of the pubs, and it was absolutely hopping, and they were bouncing up and down and singing the new Philip Coutinho song, and amongst other things. So I envisage it's going to be red hot tonight, and it's going to be hostile, and it's going to be noisy, and I'm really looking forward to it now.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I woke up. I sent a text. I sent a tweet this morning. I don't know. It was in around 7:00. I just said I'm really looking forward to today, because if anyone had asked me a question straight away when I woke up, the first thing I would have said was, "Yeah, that's all well and good, but if someone asked me to do something, the first thing I would have said was, I can't do it between 4:30 and 7:30 because I'm getting in the zone for the Villa game." And it wouldn't have mattered if it was to collect my parents from the airport or whatever, no matter what it was, no matter who it was. I just had, it's again, it's something I've been looking forward to all week. I suppose I really have been looking forward to it all week, and I know that tons and tons of other people have been as well. So just as is customary, 2 minutes before the teams are announced, I want to go down through some messages that we have here. Fred asks, am I wrong to think we lose 1-0 today? I hate to say it, even worse seeing it. Look, anything is possible, and history would dictate that Manchester United are massive favourites in this game today. So I don't think that you're wrong to prepare yourself for a 1-0.
And we're all a little bit broken, so we all feel that that's the case. So hard not to feel that way in advance, Fred. But I'm a bit more optimistic today than I have been.
Yeah. Josh, thanks a million, Josh, for checking in. Josh says, think logical lineup is Digne in for Target, Sanson in for McGinn, Ollie and Ings once again play together, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Ashley Young in the 11. I wouldn't be shocked either. I don't know, does he bring Ashley Young directly straight back in? I don't know, does he bring Digne in? And that's why there's such anticipation, I think, of this team sheet that we will have in probably less than a minute. But I don't think you can really quibble with any of those changes, and that just shows the strength and depth that we now have, even with these two new signings, and all the people away at the AFCON, and all the people that are injured, and people who are absent through suspension and so on. So that's good. Rob Henry says, how many South Americans in our matchday squad? 4. Douglas Luiz. Forgot Douglas Luiz. Ben says, big match today, boys. Excited. Went and got a trim in my new away kit and all. Hope to see the new signings. Absolutely. I got a trim myself as well. Tom says that Digne starts Coutinho on the bench. I think that's probably the logical way for this. And I think the team should be out any moment now if it isn't out already. The team is out. And we shall share. Look, I'm getting a lot better at this. We're going to share it up here for you. We have Martinez, Cash, Konza, Mings, and Digne is in. He does come in for Matty Target. Sanson is in. Douglas Luiz, Ramsey, Buendia, Ings, and Watkins. And the substitutes bench is Jed Steer, the returning Kane, Kessler, Hayden, Courtney House, who is in negotiations for a new contract, which we're all delighted about. Chuck Moeka, Coutinho, Ings. Oh, I completely forgot the second line. Target, Ashley Young, Young Tim, Chuck Moeka, Coutinho, and Archer, should I say, not Ings. That's strong. Yeah. Can't really complain about that. Can't really complain about that lineup at all. I suppose midfield is where the money's going to be won.
Before we move on, let's just spare a thought for Matt Target, because he's been a very good servant, and I know he's been bombed out now, and the likelihood is we won't see too much of him, barring we picking up any injuries. But I do feel a little bit sorry for him today, because everybody said Digne will come straight in, so it's no big surprise. And to have the wealth of talent on the bench is very exciting.
Absolutely, I think so, 100%, and I think that the balance that's on the bench there now is quite good. 3 defenders, 4 if you want to class Ashley Young as 1, 4 midfielders and 1 striker. Well, 2 strikers really, I suppose, when you consider that. It's only 1 striker, but you only kind of need 1 striker when you've got Ings on the wing. You can move him up front, bring in Coutinho, and the moldability and the malleability, should I say, of the team there to be able to move in and out of the 2. Just getting back to a couple of comments there, Rod. Thank you so much once again, Rod. You're a stalwart on the podcast. I really appreciate everything. Thanks for taking the time to do these, lads. Half of me says we just lost to Brentford. Don't get cocky. The other half says we'll smash them. Hope Phil plays. And that's, do you know what? it's the devil and the angel on each shoulder for me. One would be, yeah, listen, Neil, look, even though we've got Dina and Coutinho, we did just lose Brentford. And the other one is like, we should have beat those bastards last Monday. So I'm still confident, though. I am confident that we will win today. And when I say confident, I'm more, it wouldn't surprise me. Whereas throughout the 36 years I have, or probably realistically, if I was to be honest about it, the 30 years of sporting Aston Villa, the biggest, every time we've gone into a game against Manchester United, I haven't really expected us to win. And that could be shown as maybe their downfall, or where our club is at from an excitement point of view and the players we've brought in. Well, I think it's probably a mixture of the both at the moment, because they aren't the Colossus that they were previously, but we are trending up, even though results recently haven't gone our way. There is quite a lot of optimism around our club, and it's not a busted flush like it has been in some other seasons when we've played them.
Do you want to call up the Man United team there?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to bring up the United team. So United team is,
well, the big news there from Philip is Pinaldo is missing.
De Gea, Lindelof. Oh, they do it again. What a useless shower. Who gives a fuck about doing it numerically? Please just put them one to. It's my inconvenience. I know who's going to be playing where, but just annoying. So De Gea, Lindelof, Greenwood, Fred, Fernandes, Varane, Dalot. I was reliably told his name was not Dalot. Cavani, Telles, Matic, Elanga. And no Cristiano. I do gym work before and gym work after training sessions. Look at me, and I a legend Ronaldo in the team. He was quoted as bitching and moaning about the young fellas don't do any gym work before or after training. They're not like me because I'm class, and he is class. Maybe
he's
right.
an asshole.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player, but
to be honest, I would have rather have seen him instead of Cavani, because Cavani bloody frightens me. And yeah, I just think I think he's capable of more than Ronaldo. The way Ronaldo has played this season, he's been absolutely shite, and he's living off past glories at this stage, and he should probably hang up his boots. But
he's going to play at least 42, Paddy. So you're going to be saying that for a while, yeah.
Maybe he can fuck off back to Madeira and play there where nobody's watching him, and that'll do me just fine. I'm just sick of looking at him.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah. So there we go. That's what you meant by it. No, I think Cavani. A lot of people said to me, actually, or not, didn't say it to me. A lot of people said in commentary, I suppose, and I thought it was very revisionist, and not Villa fans. I think more so independent fans and third party fans. They said Cavani caused Villa a lot of trouble on Monday night. I didn't see that at all.
No, he didn't cause trouble on Monday night, but he's capable of it.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Oh, obviously he's capable of it against us and against anything.
I thought they were all poor on Monday night, but he's definitely capable of.
I thought Greenwood was their biggest outlet, and obviously McTominay. They're missing McTominay. They're missing Shaw. Alex Telles is there to be got at. As is Dalot. There to be got at. They're very attacking fullbacks. They can be got at. There's Matic. I would be putting. And I would be trying to drag Matic around the place, which I'm not confident that it will happen, but I'd like to try and drag him around the place with Ollie Watkins a small little bit, and just try and isolate Ings in the middle in between the two defenders, because like Lindelof needs a good partner. He has it in Varane. Varane's a super player, but Lindelof needs a good partner. And sometimes when Lindelof is exposed, potentially, and not potentially, but when you do drag him out a bit, even though he's played right back, he does get clumsy in the tackle. I think the crowd have a huge role to play in this. We've said it before, massive role, because I think that the referees can be influenced. We don't do it enough on the field with our players. We need to do it in the stands and with our players. And I expect us to go full throated. The one time we did it and we got in and around the referee was actually against Manchester United, wasn't it? When they got that penalty decision, or they didn't get that penalty decision in the last game. Against Manchester United, we got in around the ref. I would say probably the first time in the last 3 or 4 years you've seen Aston Villa do that, and the media hammered them for it. Remember, it's not nice, and all the United fans came out and said, that was very disrespectful what they did. Fuck that. We don't have to bow down to anybody. We don't have to bow down to anybody in this league. Yep. If you're going to punch down, we're going to punch up. That's the way that it should be. And we should surround the ref. We should swarm the ref. If there's a VAR decision, we should push them out of the way and get in front of his face. We should make sure we're making it, puffing out our chest, like Cavani did. He waved his head, Mick Oliver, waved his head. After Cavani said, no go. Cavani stood in front of him for 3 minutes, 45 seconds, influenced him, went to the camera, went to and whether that made any difference, we didn't have anybody there making our case. They did. They got the decision. We need to start doing that today. Get in David Coote's face. David Coote, season ticket holder at Old Trafford. Get in his face. Call his bluff. Make him make that obviously poor decision.
Oh, yeah.
And call him out afterwards, Stephen Gerrard. Call him out afterwards if he does. If it's 2 games in a row, we'll set up the GoFundMe for you, Stevie. And and there you go. There's the first 10 euros into it because I'm supposed to pay 10 quid into some whatever fund every time I call him Stevie G. And I just called him Stevie, so that's enough for me. We paid a fine for you, but something has to change. Rant over. I feel great about it. I feel about 2 stone lighter.
But look, it does have to change. My only worry about us getting in the referee's face is we'll see yellow cards because we get treated differently than the greedy 6, as does every other club. So, look, the league is over. It's time to stop fabricating the title race because the title race is over. It's time to stop giving them the decisions, and we need ourselves to create our own look today and go and absolutely embarrass them from the start and get stuck into them and in their faces. And give them a reason to roll around on the ground. Give them a reason to dive. Get in there and just throw a few nice dirty tackles in nice and early. Let them know they're in a game. And the crowd will be up for this. I know they'll be up for this. It's going to be... Yeah. I'm going to turn up. I'm actually going to put on my sound bar tonight for the first time in a long time and just turn
Santa
up.
Claus is good someone.
Turn the sound up and enjoy it. I'm presuming everybody that's on here is either on the way or can't go to the game today. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one.
A couple of comments. Brendan, good to see you, man. Think Man United will be difficult to break down. Hopefully we'll be ahead and bring on the magician in 70 minutes up the Villa. Yeah, that would be nice to be able to bring him on to protect the lead or further a lead. Con, good to see you, Con. Well, lads, big shout out here from Tuscany Bistro on Dooradile. I've been there many's a time. Lived in there from about, I want to say maybe about 2010 to 2012. Drop in some time for a pizza. Pizzas are brilliant, and along with everything else in Tuscany Bistro. I
should have given them away if I passed there about 20 minutes ago.
Good to see you, Con. Good to see you. Where else are we with this? PSK says Dina starts, Coutinho on the bench, Ronaldo out. That was good stuff. Sorry there, I'm just going to come down here. John Steele, I like the idea of this. Coutinho off the bench and scores the winner from 22 yards. David Coote breaks down in tears. I never looked it up, and I meant to do it before this to see how many shots Philip Coutinho has had from outside the box without scoring, because as I say, through his career, he scored 1 in every 15 shots. So yeah, that's a nice little stat, and I think that's one I'll keep in mind when I'm just before the game as well. What else is it? Owen says, I'd like a performance that takes the ref and VAR out of it, having no bearing, just completely control the game. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what we all want. I don't care if it's a last minute winner that hits off somebody or Coutinho belted in from 23 yards. We just gotta keep them on the back foot and keep VAR out of the game. That's the most important thing.
I think so. Yeah. Be control our own destiny. Yeah, as much as we can. Yeah, Ings and Watkins. Just guys, I'm not putting up some comments. There's a load of them. Actually, I'll pop up a comment here just because I look. I think it's time to prove it or put up or shut up. I think what's the phrase I'm looking for? I think it's time for these two people to prove that they can play together. As Lee says, they're not Ings and Watkins again. And look, I think it is coming to the stage. I thought that on Monday night they played a bit better together. You know, they utilized the field a bit more. They switched positions a bit more, and they were more of a 2 up front, with Buendia dropping a small bit deeper and Watkins playing from the right. So it'll be interesting to see how they get there. But I suppose really that it.
I think in the coming weeks we won't even be having this argument. So that's why I'm not really bothered getting into it. We spoke about it the other night. I think when we're back, when we see the likes of, we're going to have Traore back, we're going to have Bailey back, we're going to have Coutinho up to full fitness. You're not going to be talking about them playing in that position. It's either going to be Ings or Watkins or another striker. So we'll wait and see.
It's an interesting one as well from Nick, and I think it's something that there's actually another piece in this that I think is really, really good. Digne next to Mings will make him better. He was captain of Everton, so Mings has an extra leader to him. Next to him, I think that's a really important point. That, and I've said it before. I said that leadership, and it's like, it sounds like it's really critical of the team when you say that leadership is lacking, but I suppose really what I mean by it is that, one man, like Mings can only do so much from the centre half position. I'm a big fan of having ex-captains in your team. I'm a big fan of almost rotating, having a club captain, having a captain in the field, and maybe even rotating your captaincy, because specifically when the game has become broken down into so many different areas, and what I mean by that is like segments in the field, and certain players don't leave that certain segment in the field. So it's not like the old days whereby or it's not even like last year where Mings can roar and everyone can hear it. The clarity of message throughout the field from the players on the field needs to be a bit stronger, and we don't have that in midfield. We just don't. And I know Digne is going to be playing left back, but he will be up the field a small bit more, and potentially that might make a bit more of a difference when he is in those attacking positions. Because when we have that ball up there, if it just takes somebody, if we're in and around the area and it takes somebody to remind them to listen, slow it down, let's pass it around, let's try and make an opening, Digne will be up there, whereas Mings won't. Mings will be back in the halfway line. And I know the professional footballers, and they should know to do this, it's drilled into them prior to the game and everything, but adrenaline is adrenaline, and it affects us all. Like, we've all been in that situation where we've had to maybe run from something as a child, and all of a sudden we turn into Usain Bolt over the first half a kilometer, and it came out of nowhere. But adrenaline does that. That's why you see professional footballers who ping them in with no one on them, all of a sudden drive it up over the back stand. So it is important. I'm stretching an awful lot when I say the difference that will make from a left back. I would like to see maybe Coutinho bring on that, be that type of calming influence up there, or we know that Ashley Young is when he plays further up the field as well. So that's just a greater discussion on leadership and clarity of message that I think is overlooked sometimes. And then I will be honest though, I think sometimes there's too much put on it as well. So it's finding a happy balance between the two. Where else are we? Brendan's looking forward to seeing Sanson again. Think he did nothing wrong his last game, just McGinn in the same position. Yeah. They are very much a like-for-like player from the effort that they do getting around the field. McGinn, I think, is better, but Sanson hasn't played a lot of 90 minutes. I would expect he'll be rolled off for Chuck Moeka. Most likely, I'd say he'll be rolled off for an Ashley Young at some stage. I don't know, do I agree with Ashley Young playing that far back? I think he's a 10 or nothing. But yeah, I think in this current team, now that we've got a second left back, I think he's a 10 or nothing. But we'll see what way the game goes today. Thanks for all the comments, guys. I'm so sorry if I'm skipping over some of them. Danny says, for the first time ever, I'm going into a Villa United game thinking we should be winning this. Yeah. Pretty similar to the way I was this morning. Like
for me, it's the second time because we were that way on Monday night.
That way on Monday, yeah. Good point.
Yeah, we have to be considering that we can put it up to these guys at this stage. They're nothing special. They're absolutely nothing special. So I think we just get in their faces from the start and just take the game to them and keep them on the back foot.
I think so too. And Derek agrees with you, Paddy. Cavani is a danger. He's an old school type of striker. He's class. Let's hope we keep him quiet today. He's a wily old fox, and he will do like. Yeah.
I'm just glad they didn't get him when he's a bit younger. I watched him play against. I went to Champions League game, Napoli and Manchester City back in 10 years ago. And I could just watch him all day. He was incredible. His work rate off the ball was incredible. His movement was incredible, and he still has a little bit of that. But the legs are kind of going. But that amazing touch that he has to get the ball under control, will never leave him. I'd say so. what he misses out in his work rate. He's just such, he's such a great footballer and a great finisher as well. So we just got to keep the ball away from him.
Ray, good to see you, lads. Always listening to you. West Cork by in Toronto, up the Villa. Ray, if you haven't gotten onto Brett Bates in the Toronto Villains, get onto them. Brett's a great guy. I don't know. You probably meet up with them all the time. But the North American Villa fans meetup is actually their last game of the season. The date escapes me. I think it's whatever date it is. They're having a massive meetup. All fans in North America are congregating in Toronto. So if you don't know about this, you do now, and you've plenty of time to make loads of friends before that massive meetup of Villa fans will be happening in Toronto at the end for the last game of the season. Which is great. This is an interesting one from Michael Lacey. Does bringing Digne straight in demonstrate an elite mindset from Gerrard? No time for sentiment. I'll let you answer that one, Paddy.
Well, we've had numerous debates over the last few days because I threw a couple of names at you of who might come in. I think he feels that we're top heavy with youth, and he's just putting a little bit of a stamp on it by bringing in some experience. And I think it's badly needed experience too, because we're a little bit naive. And the likes of bringing in Dean and Coutinho is just, it changes the mindset. It changes everything. And plus, there's an element of fear in that for the opposition. All of a sudden, they're not going out saying, "Oh, target's a bit soft. We can exploit them down that side," because we've got Luca Dean in there, who's a French international, and whatever he has, 50 caps for France. It's a huge signing, and it's probably gone a little bit under the radar. People who haven't seen too much of him play. I'm really looking forward to seeing him play in our system today, because I think he'll offer something attacking wise down the left as well. So, and plus we've got a free kick specialist. So it's a long time since we had that. So, and of course we've Coutinho who can bang them in as well. So, there's a lot happening. Getting back to what he said, there is a lot happening. I think he feels there's a little bit of leadership missing from the dressing room, and I think that's what he set out to do in this window. And I don't think we're finished yet either.
Yeah. No, I don't think so either. I think we've got one more midfield coming at least. And then after that, then probably a centre half as well. Who knows?
And a goalkeeper.
Who knows? Seeker64 says, can't wait for this. Villa Park will be rocking. Expected lineup. Coutinho not fit enough to start, but can make a big impact in the second half. I absolutely agree. And like as I say, I keep on saying it, I'm just looking forward to having shots from outside the box go on target. If nothing else. That's what he's known for. That's what he's known for. Shots are on target, and they trouble goalkeepers, and they go in. And that gets me up off my seat. It was mad. I was only watching like Premier League. It was like Premier League years or whatever, back through the years. Like even in the mid 2000s, specifically in the mid 90s, there was loads of goals scored from outside the box. Because I don't know what it was, and I always go back to one of my favorite ever strikers is Gabriel Batistuta. Like the amount of goals he scored by just having a crack and natural talent and stuff not being coached out of him and that kind of beautiful stuff. Yeah, maybe it's all right. Maybe you could say, well, the goalkeepers weren't as good back in the day. It's a fair point. I've no way of arguing it for or against. But what I can argue is that like the natural talent that you just see, these guys who just know how to get their head over the ball and it comes to them naturally. As opposed to sometimes maybe in this day and age, you can see sometimes maybe more rigid manufactured footballers, more so. But Coutinho isn't one of those, and he just lets fly from outside the box, and that's the kind of magic that we see. Look, I know I keep going back to him, and I really like. I don't. Jack Grealish is like that as well. He was a street footballer. He was a footballer on the field, and he just had that little bit of something that he was just born with, and that's important to have. And once you've got one of those in your team, anything can happen. Anything can happen. There's another piece here from Junior. Junior says, let's hope Watkins says he's scoring boots on, needs to start showing up more. I absolutely agree. Ollie Watkins is a bit of a microscope on him. His work rate is fantastic, and that's not in question, but missing those chances. And I know he was being tackled in the box and had his jersey being pulled and stuff, but to hit the crossbar from there, you need to be putting those away, especially if you want to get back in the England team. Yeah, so
100%. At the moment, his form is definitely not in England squad announcement coming up with his name on it.
Yeah, he's yeah, I don't think he gets in there. Like he might get to Qatar, which is a shame because this time last year he was probably pushing to potentially be the next man off the bench to replace Harry Kane. So it's he needs to get back on track from a scoring point of view, and from a statistical point of view as well. Barbalaza 83, he's in Cape Town, up the Villa. Good to see you.
He might be in Cape Town, but he also likes listening to Irish radio.
Well, that was my next one. I was going to go to that next. John Giles and Off the Ball. Surely everybody here knows who John Giles was. John Giles would snap your ankles before he'd shake your hand. He's complimentary of Gerrard, and he reckons we're 4 or 5 players away from Champions League football. 4 or 5 players is a lot of players, but still, it's nice to.
It's not really, though. It's not really. It's not.
Well, it's 4 or 5 players to come in to hit on 4 or 5 players. You want to be signing 20. It's all well and good to say 4 or 5 players that come in, hit the system, are very good and all work out.
Yeah,
could take you 20 players to sign before you get those 4 or 5.
If you're buying proven players, 4 or 5 players is all you need. So if we're buying the likes of Coutinho and the likes of Lucas Dean, he's from Ennis, only out the road from me and you, Neil. So if we're buying experience, perhaps we are only 4 or 5 players away. If we're buying players who have Premier League experience and we know they can do it, yes, we're only 4 or 5 players away. But buying them is the problem, and having the money to buy them. Well, we know we have the money. We just have to balance the financial fair play to get them in. So
I go so far as to say we're a 40 goal a season striker from getting Champions League. So realistically, if you want to say that, we're only 1 player. But then again, every team in the league is only 1 player away. A 40 goal a season striker. And let me just go to the local shop to pick one of those off the shelf because they're plentiful supply.
Doesn't work that way, does it?
Yeah. It's coming up at 5 o'clock there, guys.
That was a 20 goal a season striker. That'll do.
Yeah.
We haven't had them too often. I think only one person has done it since Dwight York, I think. So, yeah.
That was Tammy, and he did it in the championship.
Yeah.
So
where there was more games. So, yeah.
Yeah. Him as a breaks, it's not it like, as I say, that was really off topic what we went on there. A comment by John Giles has us talking about Tammy Abraham. Put the two of those together, that's a real kind of there's a spidergram to get from A to B there somewhere along the line. Look, I think today is good. I think the omens are good today. I think the team is nice and stable. I think Dina coming in and Sanson coming in gives them enough to think about in the difference of the way that we are going to play. We do need to be more disciplined in midfield. Douglas Luiz, there's a big microscope from me, and we know that's all that matters because they all talk about what Neil Dunworth thinks in the dressing room, isn't that it? But there will be a microscope for me on Douglas Luiz's positioning and defensive work. I actually was I'm going to be honest, I don't know whether it was because I was watching it a bit more, but I was a bit flabbergasted when Stan Collymore made the comments about his positioning, about where he was. And I don't know whether that just, it was my subconscious that made me watch it, but I'm not saying all the time. There was 1 or 2 times where I was like, oh, we're very open in the middle of midfield. Where's Douglas Luiz? And if you go back to and I go back to Project Restart, because it was in around that time he played some of his best football and he protected the D and he almost played, like, there was times I shared his heat map and it was like as if there was an electric fence across a portion of the field he wasn't allowed to go into, and he just patrolled 2 areas in the field, and maybe he just needs that discipline within his game again, because he was really good for that period of time. Project Restart. That 10 games has been his best 10-game stretch for the club. So he can do it, but it's just, I suppose, once again, we don't know I can't still put, because of the fact we've played so many different combinations in midfield, I still can't put my finger on what the actual tactic, the philosophy of how our midfield trio play is, and hopefully that becomes more apparent now as things begin to settle down, players start to come back, injuries start to come back into the team, and we start to settle our front three as well, because our middle three won't be a coherent unit until our front three settle and we find the right team. We're still searching for our best 11, essentially, is what I'm trying to say, and that's big bearing, and that is the midfield.
As you say, we can't, like, we could judge that midfield if you look at the Nakamba, Luis McGinn one, which I thought was pretty exciting. but I have a feeling that's going to change in the next few months because we will have to add to it. And look, it's a big game for Samson. I'm looking forward to seeing him from the start again. I'm really hoping he gets stuck in today and can.
I didn't see that result at all. I hadn't seen the result of any games.
Well,
I'm just delighted.
I thought they were going to get back. They were 2-0 down from early on, and then Richarlison. I can't understand why. I said he was a spoofer. I stand over that every time. Why you would have the likes of Richarlison on the bench unless he's carrying an injury is beyond me. You know, and he has goals on the bench in Anwar El Gholzi as well. So why is he not playing his best team?
Del Boy, I request a letter from your parent or guardian to tell me why you're late for the team sheet tantrum. Inexcusable. You're usually the first person to comment in. I'm only joking. Good to see you. Good to see you. Lads, I think we're going to pretty much leave it there. We're half an hour away from kickoff. I don't think there's any other massive talking points other than
Neil, I have a question for you.
Like. Yes.
Somebody just texted me and asked me, why is John 37 upside down behind you?
Oh, sorry, it fell off the wall. It fell off the wall. That's what it is. It's not an anti. So for anybody who's looking at that, it's a very Irish thing. It's a very Irish Gaelic sports thing. There was a guy who used to go around to the matches with a big sign that said John 37. He was from Limerick, where I'm originally from, and we all colloquially took him into our hearts. And like for 40 years, he used to go to matches, and you'd see him at every game with this on the TV. He was like a super fan. And he passed away about 2 or 3 years ago. And that was a drawing that I saw in a shop. And it's just like all those teams you can see there, they're all Limerick GAA teams. That one is crooked, and that's annoying me now that I've seen it. And that's so that's just what it is.
Once I got that text message, I couldn't unsee it, so I had to ask.
Yeah. No, you're right. It fell off the wall the other night, and I looked at it and I went, I better put that back up, and then I completely forgot that I moved my camera earlier on because my camera was like that.
Yeah. So I think the superstitious Paddy is telling after the game today we'll discuss 3-7 and see if he should stay the way he is if we get a win today.
Yeah, maybe so. Exactly. Guys, before you go, right, actually, just before we go, for a couple of moments, can you hit the like button on YouTube? Just hitting the thumbs up. Really, really appreciate it. We've got a target. We're going to try and get a target of 100. Let's call it 100 likes. There's been nearly 220 people roll through watching. If we can hit it and try and get it to 100 likes. Also, do you want to comment in there? We want to see what it is, and I don't have the option to do a poll. Want to pop in your score into the comments there, and we'll flick up through them and see what the most common score is just before we go. That would be really, really good. There's a couple of scores up here. A couple of people that are rolling in already. Where's that gone to? Where is it gone to? Darren C 4-1 Villa. I'll take that all day long. Well, sober me now will take that all day long. Drunk me will wake up in the morning and go, was there Villa on the podcast said 4-1 Villa? Because I think I'd be rotten tonight if Villa won 4-1. There'll be no stopping me from breaking open the 20-year-old Kilbeggan it's burning a hole in my drinks press inside. Rob Henry says,
I think we might be back on earlier if we won 4-1 today.
If we win tonight, we will be back in here at some stage this evening. I can guarantee it mightn't be directly after the game, but I can guarantee you we will be back in here at some stage this evening if we win. And there will be a can opening, and there will be all that beautiful stuff because we haven't done it in a while. Richard Ryan says 3-1. Brendan says 2-0 Villa. Connors 2-0 Villa. Rod says 0-0. I think it very well could be. It's like Chris says 2-0 Villa. 13-0 Villa. Do you know what? I really don't want that to be a typo.
I won't be seen for a week if we beat Man United 13-0.
I really don't want that to be. If that is a typo, I'll be upset. So do not put in. If it's underneath here, I'm not going to pop it up that was a typo because I want that to be real. Back Chic says 2-0 up the Villa. 2-1 says Paul Merson, Villa legend. 5-0 says David Miller. Anne says 2-1 Villa, and she'd be a very, very happy lady dancing around her house with a Man United supporting husband. Gary says 3-0 Villa. 2-1 Villa from Ray. Ad says 2-0 Villa. 3-2 Villa. 2-1 Villa. The 2 were all from one day, and Emmy, and the clean sheet from Emmy. Absolutely, that was from Batchick. Bakshik. See, my pronunciation I could pronounce that batshit by mistake because of my eyesight is absolutely chronic. So I'm really sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I do.
In fairness, if it was him that put up the 13-0, we could have called him batshit crazy.
No, not today. Not today. We're nice. We're nice. We're always nice. 2-1 says Bernice. Good to see you, Bernice. Music Junkies 2-0 Villa. 4-1 Villa. Emmy Martinez hat trick.
What do you go for, Neil?
I'm going. I've said 2-1. I put my colours to the mast. I think 2-1. And that was me thinking 2-1 with Ronaldo. I still think they might scrape an 0-1 here or there. Like, they still are a talented team, and we're no way to finish the article at the back or anywhere in the field, to be honest with you. So I don't think that we've any given right to think that we'll hold Man United to 0, but I do think that we can score in this team, and I do think that we've identified frailties that potentially we will be able to exploit with the likes of better crossing from Dina. Dina crosses an awful lot. Remember, if you guys have seen the statistical analysis I did in him, his crosses are good. I left out the shot creating actions that he has in there, which is far and away higher than a lot of other fullbacks in the league. And we need to start creating chances. Obviously, Coutinho off the bench. As I said, if Coutinho scores one from outside the box, there will be just delirium on the podcast afterwards from me.
That there will. But the most important thing today is the result.
Back kick.
We have
it.
We have to beat them today. We have to beat them today. I'm going 2-0. I think we're going to score early. I think we could be 2-0 up by half time, and it might be a bit back to the wall in the second half. But I think we're going to have to go 2 up because they might catch us with a VAR or anything that David Coo can give. We also have to deal with Mike Dean, who's in the Stockley Park joke shop today. So so we have a Man United fan and Mike Dean, who quite obviously hates us. So doesn't bode well, but look, I'm still thinking we've enough there to go and beat them.
Maybe I shouldn't have confused Mike Dean, and I can't even remember who the other Mike I confused him with at on the preview podcast. I said they all mashed together. Yeah. Bring back David Ellery, I said. There was never any problems with David Ellery. He was
bring back Uriah Rennie. Nobody messed with him.
No, nobody messed with him except for Alan Shearer didn't get sent off, didn't he? In his first game that he refed against Villa. Wasn't it Villa Newcastle? It was Uriah Rennie's first ever game. And Shearer started giving out to him. He sent Shearer off. I'm massively open to correction on that one.
I was at that game.
Oh, God. Well, either my mind is playing tricks on me, or yours is Uriah Rennie.
I don't remember the referee, but I remember winning, and it was at St. James's Park, and Shearer was sent off. I think it was 2-0, was it, or 1-0?
Yeah. Definitely. I can't see. It doesn't say. He practices both kickboxing and Aikido and has a master's degree in business administration and law. He's a magistrate in Sheffield. He's married with one daughter and a son, and he appeared as himself in the BBC Two drama Marvelous, broadcast in September 2014.
There you go.
There's your right, you know. Yeah. His first Premiership appointment was 23rd of August 1997, again between Leeds and Crystal Palace at Ellen Road. I'm certain that he sent off Alan Shearer in the first game of the season, Villa against Newcastle, and the Newcastle manager at the time, whoever it was, went nuts.
I should, but it is 20 odd years ago. I should remember this, but I didn't have
a lot of Guinness under the bridge since then.
I didn't have a very good view from where I was sitting up in the gods in St. James's Park, and I think that was before they even extended it. It was still miles up from the pitch.
Oh, here we go. Look, might as well share it up here. We've got Twitter. This is the beauty of it. We should be gone ages ago. The match will be on in no time. Give me a second there. Where's it gone to? Chrome tab. Funny old game. So here it is. Alan Shearer.
You make of this.
Alan Shearer got sent off.
In the 71st minute, he was sent off for that challenge.
Uriah Rennie. Second yellow.
Even Villa's Ian Taylor couldn't believe it. Here's the incident again. That said, Mr. Rennie was enough for marching orders.
That's ridiculous. So what do you red card. Ridiculous red card.
That looked like Villa Park, was it?
It was a Villa Park. Yeah, you're right, Rennie.
I've got that wrong, haven't I?
Ian Taylor couldn't believe it. Yeah. Anyway, we're losing viewers like the new time because we're basically just having a chat here. But listen, thanks everybody so much for watching. Thanks very much everybody for checking in. Go get yourself in front of the TV 23 minutes before kickoff. Snacks, drinks, all optional, mandatory, whatever way you want to call it. Anybody who's at the game, stay safe afterwards, stay safe during, cheer your arses off, and everybody watching at home, let's all hope for the result. Collective prayers, thoughts and prayers towards this game today, and positive energy will this through. We will be back if Aston Villa win tonight. I won't be able to not come back on and open up a can. So whether it's me on my own or whether it's me and Paddy, we will be back on should Villa win later on. If not, we will be back tomorrow licking our wounds. But thanks so much everybody. Give us a like before you log off if you haven't done so already. Really appreciate everything you do for the podcast. Here's to a Villa win today and the first double over Man United since 1954. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
Oh, I forgot to press.